let's get into the Ratchet and Clank and
Let's
sort of
go.
let's get into the Ratchet and Clank and what's it called? The PlayStation State of Play, which really was just the Ratchet and
Ratchet
Clank show.
Clank. Yeah.
Yep. Let's talk about the sort of name reveal and the first gameplay thing that they showed, which was like less than 2 minutes. So, what'd you think, Damien? I mean, I was pretty pogged out of my mind, gonna
So
be honest.
I watched this trailer like at least like 40 times. I'm not gonna lie. So obviously, like if you listen to the podcast since we started, you know that I kind of like Ratchet and Clank. So I am very excited for this, and I'm happy we finally got a name for the female Lombax, and it's Rivet. I think a lot of people predicted that because I think they teased something about Rosie and then Rosie the Riveter, and then people saying it's either Rosie or Rivet, and now it's Rivet. I think that's a good name. It rolls
Mhm.
off the tongue. Nice and simple. I still really like her design and stuff like that. Her gameplay looks about the same as Ratchet. They haven't really shown anything that makes me see it as any different, as we'll talk about more in the state of play gameplay.
Mhm.
But yeah, just from this trailer alone, it was like super nice. Everyone was just blown away by the visuals, and I am too. It kind of makes me feel like when I first saw Tools of Destruction for the first time. I was just like,
Mhm.
games literally cannot look any better than this, and obviously they do. But as a dumb kid, I didn't know. I was literally like, yo, games cannot look any better than Tools of Destruction. Like, that actually blew my mind. I felt that same exact way watching this trailer. Like the amount of density in all the locations, how like much details in there, like everything just looks fantastic. Obviously I'm very excited to see whatever the story implications are. I don't know if it's gonna do some crazy stuff or what. But yeah, just from this gameplay trailer, it was just really cool to see all this stuff. Just see some bits of Rivet doing stuff and Ratchet doing stuff. You saw some new weapons in there. It was just a really good trailer. So I don't know if you have
Yeah.
anything to say
I
about.
mean,
Yeah.
look, when I watched this, I was like, man, why am I getting chills watching a fucking Ratchet and Clank trailer?
Hell yeah.
This shit was honestly like very cool to see. Just them going through the different locations and the sort of visual fidelity that this game is like showcasing. I'm just like, man, fucking Insomniac are like fucking insanely good at what they're doing, and I cannot wait to see what they do with Spider-Man 2. Just because I'm sure we all know that that shit's gonna come, but them always, emphasizing the sort of, PlayStation 5, like they wouldn't be able to do this without the PS5's power, which is very true. I think that a lot of what this game is showcasing with these sort of dimensional jumping, instantly going from one planet to another, and the gameplay with Rivet. I think Rivet as a name is better than Rosie because I think Rosie is a much more common name than Rivet. No one fucking names their daughter Rivet, and
Yeah, Rivet.
if you did, you are very very unique, sir or ma'am. But anyways, yeah, I think Rivet's gameplay being very similar to Ratchet makes sense because she is supposed to be this sort of dimensional counterpart to him, and from what it looks like, what I'm going to predict is that like most of the game you're probably going to be without Clank as Ratchet, and most of the game Clank's going to be with Rivet, and it's sort of going to be like a cat and mouse sort of chase between the two Lombaxes. But yeah, I am very, very much excited to go and see how this story plays out because we are, within a brand new Ratchet and Clank experience, which we have not seen since the PlayStation 3. So it's been a very, very long time, and I am very, very excited to jump back into the Ratchet and Clank universe just because of how beautiful the game looks as well and everything we've seen with the gameplay. And I hope a lot of people get into or back into Ratchet and Clank because of this game, just because the PlayStation 5, we just got Returnal, which is fine, but that's not going to be
Yeah.
everyone's cup of tea. I might pick it up. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, definitely Ratchet and Clank is the next big hitter for the PlayStation 5. So
Yeah, and it's crazy that the first two like big, or I guess first three big PS5 exclusives is a soul, like a Souls game, which isn't for everyone, a roguelite, which isn't for everyone, and a freaking 3D platformer. So it's been really a really weird like launch. Like, I've been loving it, but still, it's been a really interesting launch like sort of window here. But yeah, I guess we could just talk about the state of play because I have a lot to say about the when they show the gameplay.
Mhm.
Um, But I guess first, we got Among Us, Ratchet and Clank looking sus. Woo! So yeah, Ratchet and Clank is in Among Us, and obviously it's gonna be on PS4 and 5 now, Among Us anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it's cool. I guess.
Hey, like people still like playing Among Us, which is kind of crazy. I'm gonna be honest. I think that game has sort of ran its course for me personally. But yeah, I mean, it's coming to more platforms, which we love to see within indie developers. Sort of expanding the platforms that they can reach. So, and it's on PlayStation, so they got that exclusive Ratchet and Clank skin. So
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But obviously the main show of the state of play, which they said, and some people were mad because like, where's God of War when they said it was supposed to be 15 minutes of Ratchet gameplay. We got Ratchet gameplay. So yeah, they showed the first. I'm assuming the first like area you're gonna be in is like that not Nefarious City is gonna be like Metropolis or whatever they call it in this game is going to be like that area. Then you go to Nefarious City, I guess. But yeah, just by them showing like, well, let me click on the video just so I could have references to what I'm talking about. When you first go to like that city and like to just do that shot, it's just like, damn, dude, why does this look better than Cyberpunk? Like, isn't it? It's crazy, like how much like graphical fidelity. Like I know like graphics aren't everything, and but like, damn, dog, like Soniac is killing it with the amount of detail and just how good it looks. Like this is such a good showcase for the PS5. Like everything about it just looks like phenomenal. Like it's crazy. And obviously the gameplay again is Ratchet and Clank. Not too much to really say at this point when they're just showing Ratchet just running around. But then later on in the thing, Ratchet gets some new moves finally, and I think this is one of the first times he gets a huge change to his like initial move set, being that he could like dash now. Ratchet could have never done that before. If anything, Ratchet was always, I don't want to say immobile, but he's always been like he could do backflips and stuff, but that's about it. But now Ratchet has gained some more platforming tools, so now he could wall run like Crash, and he could like dash as well. And this could obviously help with, to show some cool things you do with the platforming when you like wall running, and then you could do a slingshot and then like do a dash and stuff. So that really is going to help with the platforming, and dashing is also just good in general for combat and stuff. And I think that's some really good mobility for Ratchet to have, and it's going to make the gameplay even better and more fast paced than it usually is, which I always think that's just a great addition to the game, honestly.
Yeah, I think everything within the showcase, graphics, gameplay, like everything was shown perfectly. I hate to use that word, but like it was shown like really really well, and I think that it really does set up like what this game is going to be. I mean, like you said, like the whole Nefarious City with all of the cars, the sort of lighting effects, the everything, like it just looks so good, and I cannot believe that Ratchet and Clank is able to look this good, especially for a platformer from the goddamn PS2 era can now look this good today. And with the sort of setup of the gameplay and the setup of the story, it just tells me that like Insomniac Games still have, I guess, a handful of ideas for Ratchet and Clank. And obviously with the help of recent, platformers such as Crash 4, the whole wall running thing and the dashing ability that Ratchet now has, I'm assuming that's because they don't want him to feel limited in mobility when you switch between Ratchet and Rivet. So they gave him these extra moves that I'm sure he's going to get within the club or whatever, which they didn't show because, they just wanted to, I guess, keep that part a secret. But yeah, everything from the gameplay, the graphics, it just looks great. And I cannot wait to actually play this game because, just seeing how the city is and how we're able to jump from one planet to another instantly is just... I feel like that this is going to push the PS5, maybe not to its limits, but show us what the PS5 can do as of right now.
Yeah, and them just sort of just going over like everything that's going to be in the game, like it really shows like they really want to push this as a full-length Ratchet and Clank game. They keep saying this because the last full-length Ratchet and Clank game was A Crack in Time, which came out like 11 years ago at this point. Like
Yeah.
all the other Ratchet and Clank games that came out have been spin-offs or shorter games, like Into the Nexus and the 2016 game. No, they were just shorter, and they were still great games, but like they were just not as extensive as the Crack in Time, as that was like sort of like the last sort of mainline Ratchet and Clank game. This one they said they added is going to be like these tiny little pocket dimensions, which I'm assuming are going to be like either like the things from Sunshine where they're like hard platforming challenges or combat challenges, or they're going to be more like the the different moons in A Crack in Time, where you could like fly to them. That like again different combat challenges and platforming challenges. There's
Hmm.
gonna be Clank puzzles, like just like Crack in Time. There's gonna be a lot of gameplay variety to show, like aerial combat, and like I guess it was a hacking mini game they showed. I didn't know what that was, but there's just a bunch of different stuff they were showing off, and it really makes me. It really seems like it's gonna be a really big game, and I'm really excited for that because again, the last big Ratchet and Clank game was so long ago that I'm very happy to see Insomniac go full on with Ratchet and Clank again, and I hope this sort of spins off into like a new trilogy or something because that would be really cool to see. Like either this game, maybe a smaller spin-off game like Miles or Quest for Booty, and then maybe another big game. But I'm not gonna put too much money into that because obviously games take a lot longer to make now. But I'm very happy to see that they're putting so much effort into this game, and all the new weapons they were showing off looks really cool too. Like that like sort of like sprinkler that makes people into grass. This giant just like laser cannon that looks really fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, so obviously the game just looks fantastic. I'm just like gushing now, but so like it just looks really good. Obviously like I think the ultimate flex was when they were fighting that boss fight, and when they, obviously you could go to a different dimension, but the boss goes with you to that dimension, and then you continue fighting the boss. Um, they say like it loads the whole level like just instantly, and then you fight the boss in that tiny arena. I'm like, that's just such an unnecessary like flex. Like it just seems so unoptimal to load a whole thing just to fight the boss, but like you could do it, so why not? So that just seems really cool. And yeah, obviously I'm just very excited for it. It's always great to see another 3D platformer come back, and Ratchet and Clank is one of my all-time favorite like video game series ever, and seeing it in such like just in such big production value and stuff just makes me very happy. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also just as excited, maybe a little less than Damien, but
Yeah. Yeah.
still, Ratchet and Clank is a very awesome platforming series, and I'm glad that it is still around after all of these years. And maybe this could, like you said, spin off into more games. Maybe even other platforming series come back. Like maybe Naughty Dog is like, hey, like they made a shit ton of money with Ratchet and Clank, which I hope they do, because it is definitely going to be hard to sell a $70 platformer
Yeah.
to
I might
consumers.
pre-ordered it.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah,
you pre-ordered it along with the other, diehard Ratchet and Clank fans. But it's definitely going to be hard to sell a $70 game to the average, I guess, PlayStation consumer.
Yeah.
And the, I guess, accessibility options that they added in, just like with, everything that PlayStation has been doing, the photo mode, like I just cannot wait to go and see what other stuff Insomniac Games has managed to pack in here, because, like they are treating this just like any other first party game that they would handle, just like with Spider-Man, just like with Miles Morales, and now with this game. They are putting just as much attention and just as much care as they would with any of those titles that I just mentioned. So I'm very happy and very glad with Insomniac Games that they are making this with as much care as they are, and it definitely shows within the presentation and obviously within the gameplay. So
Hell yeah. Very excited for it.
yep. All right, so